The early signs of spring have finally arrived after what has felt like a long and snowy winter. As the chill in the air begins to dissipate, I can see the vibrant green shoots of garlic starting to emerge from the ground. The rhubarb is beginning to leaf out, showcasing its stunning red stalks. Even the strawberries, those delightful first fruits of the season, are showing signs of life as their lush green leaves peek out. One of the activities I look forward to the most in early spring is starting my broccoli seeds. While my summer crops, like tomatoes and peppers, will have to wait a little bit longer for their turn in the sun, broccoli thrives in the colder temperatures of early spring. The planting of these seeds feels like a rite of passage into the garden season, a tangible sign that the earth is awakening. Preparing the soil blocks is almost meditative. There's something incredibly satisfying about nurturing plants from their infancy and watching them grow day by day. I know that in a few weeks, I'll have strong seedlings ready for transfer. I have a tray here of 50 soil blocks that we are going to seed broccoli into. Last year was the first year that I grew broccoli successfully by starting it now and planting it out near the end of April, about 4 weeks before my last frost date, when nighttime temperatures were above 7 degrees Celsius. Broccoli is a fairly short-lived crop in the garden. It goes in before your last frost date and it's out by the end of June, leaving me July, August, September, and a little bit of October to grow something else. Broccoli, once the main head is harvested, does side shoot. I don't find the broccoli is worth the space when it side shoots. I think it's worth the space in the spring to get the big heads, but I don't leave the huge plants in the garden to side shoot a bunch. I pull them out and succession plant something else. So we're gonna start 50 plants. I'm hoping to get 44 into the garden. I like starting more plants than I need so that if something goes wrong or I drop one, let's be honest, the yield I'm hoping for from these 44 plants is 22 pounds of broccoli. That's about half a pound per plant. Broccoli can, under ideal conditions, create a head that's about a pound in weight. I got pretty close to 1 or 2 of my heads being a pound last year, but they were more just over the half-pound mark, so that's what I'm aiming for this year. If we get more, that would be wonderful, but 22 pounds is my minimum, my ideal minimum anyways. Like all my seeds, I'm going to sow at least 2 seeds per cell. This is a brand new seed pack, so I'm going to just aim for 2 per soil block. The variety I'm planting is called Gypsy. It is heat tolerant, which is important because we have lots of temperature fluctuations in the spring. I grew 2 varieties of broccoli last year, Gypsy and Green Magic, and the Gypsy broccoli had much larger heads than the Green Magic, so that's what we're going with this year. I'm planting about double the broccoli plants I grew last year because I think I figured out the trick to growing broccoli in my area. If you plant it after the nighttime temperatures get to 7 degrees, it seems to do much better. I used to plant my broccoli really early in the season, as soon as the ground was workable. But all that would happen is that they wouldn't grow very much. I had to protect them from frost like crazy. I think all the temperature fluctuations that were happening made the broccoli heads button. Like I never got a nice good size head of broccoli until last year. So we'll see if it's a fluke or if waiting till the temperatures are just right is the key. So 50 broccoli plants sown. So I'm just gonna fill this indentation in each of the soil blocks with soil, then we'll water them in. If you ever wonder where I'm getting all of my estimated yields per plant, last year I tracked the yield I got off of each plant I planted in the garden, and I'm basing this year's estimates on that. Last year we managed to grow 450 pounds of produce from my small suburban yard. And this year I'm trying to reach 650. The other 2 crops I'm planning to start today is some spinach. Spinach and I have a rough relationship. I can't seem to ever get it to germinate properly, and when I do get it out and growing, it gets attacked by a leaf miner. I don't love spinach in general, but my husband does, so I want to try to grow some for him. It is nice to throw some spinach in the freezer to have it to put in quiches and stuff over the winter. I'm going to try to grow 24 plants of spinach and see how it goes. I'm expecting 0 yield from the spinach. Maybe it'll surprise me. The other 12 plants I'm going to start today are broccolini, which is kind of like if you mixed broccoli and asparagus. We love asparagus, but I don't have enough space to dedicate any of it to asparagus growing. Asparagus grows up from the ground in the springs, you harvest the spears, and then it goes to this big fern for the rest of the year. And I just don't have space to dedicate to a plant that's large and ferny. The space I have dedicated for perennials is primarily for fruit production. It's not worth it to me to dedicate any space to asparagus. In comes broccolini. It gives us a similar feel of having asparagus. Like it's a nice vegetable to have on the side of a steak. It feels a little bit fancier than just broccoli. So I'm not growing tons of it because it's not incredibly productive. I have dedicated enough space for 6 broccolini plants. I think I might be able to squeeze in a couple others. That's why I'm growing 12. Thank you for joining me on this seed starting day. I am hopeful that we will be able to get out in the garden for a tour next week. And if you want to see how I plan my seed starting so that I don't miss out on any of my crops, check out this video linked here.